Yeah.
So quick IMDb. So the film is called Malcolm and Marie. Came out this year, February 5th. It came out. Yep. Hour 46 minutes. Description: a director and his girlfriend's relationship is tested after they return home from his movie premiere and await critics' responses. Directed by Sam Levinson, written by Sam Levinson. For some reason, I thought I got him and Damien Chazelle mixed up for some reason. I don't know why.
I thought you were gonna say you got him and Barry Levinson confused.
No. I probably did think of that at one point,
Yeah.
but even me not knowing exactly who Barry Levinson, like not putting the face to the name.
Yeah.
And then the cast is simply John David Washington and Zendaya, and that's it.
Yeah.
Well,
so remember that Damien Chazelle, because I'm gonna bring up one of his works in a minute. So just remember that as a reference.
So I had two responses, one on Instagram and one on TikTok. So Danielle on Instagram responded to our story and said, and I said, what did I say? This week we review Malcom Marie. What were your thoughts? And Danielle said, toxic masculinity. She also wanted me to point out that she did not like the age gap. She thought it was weird knowing how old John David Washington was and Zendaya was.
Mm-hmm. How old is John David Washington?
He's in his 30s, I think.
Like early 30s or late 30s?
John David Washington was born in...
Because Zendaya is what, 24?
He was born in 1984.
So he's 36, right?
Yeah.
So there's like about a 12-year age difference.
Zendaya's like 24, 25?
Yeah, because she's the same age as Tom Holland.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's like a 12-year age difference.
On TikTok, my phone's about to die, so hopefully I can get to this in time. On TikTok, we had somebody. Username was Abibi, I think it is 129. That he was very mean, very mean. He
Prince
said,
Abubu.
"It's a terrible and a bad idea to put Zendaya in the movie." I wouldn't go that far.
That's all he said?
That's all he said. That was really. I was like, well, that's a bit.
Wow, that's crazy. It's a terrible idea to put Zendaya. Well, you missed that boat.
Yeah.
Yes,
those are the two comments I got.
I agree. So this is what am I trying to say? Jay Scotty just brought up an incredible point. He said, not a big deal to me in reference to the age gap. Not a big deal to me. There is a significant gap between Bettany and Olsen, but nobody bats an eye on that, which is absolutely true. I think that
Danielle did clarify real quick.
Oh,
she said it. She thinks that it's creepy that she looks even younger than she is, so that would heighten the you know what I mean.
I could understand, because to me, Paul Bettany, which I think the gap between Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany is actually even more.
Happy
than
birthday,
12
by the
years.
way. It was Elizabeth Olsen.
Oh yeah, happy birthday to Scarlet Witch. Happy birthday, Wanda. For all you Rocky 4 fans out there. I think it's even more between Bettany and Olsen, but like what Danielle just said, Elizabeth Olsen looks like she's in her late 20s. Paul Bettany is almost 50 years old, and he looks like he is 35.
He looks younger. Yeah,
he looks like he is 35.
I don't think John David Washington looks that old though. Like I honestly think he'd be like early 20 or late 20s.
Zendaya, exactly. John David Washington could pass for like 28 or 29. Zendaya could pass for 14. Like, you know what I mean?
Okay,
like,
that's a bit much. I don't know about that.
I mean, aside from her height, you know what I mean? I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a weird thing. We don't have to focus on that for the
It's weird
review,
though to think like that we were watching Zendaya. I don't know. Maybe
yes.
Because Shake It Up was our age group almost.
I was very in some of the scenes in this movie when things are getting a little hot and heavy. I was very uncomfortable because I was like, bro, you're on Shake It Up Chicago like 5 years ago. Like, what's going on here, man?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Bella Thorne's out there like I don't even know,
doing Bella Thorne things. I don't know.
But so let's not.
I'm actually gonna.
And it didn't really the age gap really didn't even. It was present there because it is literally present there. It has been like I know I talked to Brianna about it, and I talk to some people, and I think about it sometimes, like when I'm watching WandaVision, that I'm like, man, this guy
Oh, I
really
know.
doesn't look 50. Like I'm just
It,
like,
to
you know
me,
what I
they're
mean?
just playing characters.
Oh,
They're just,
absolutely, yeah,
so it's like it
absolutely.
doesn't really, it
Um,
doesn't really. I don't look at it that way, really.
yeah.
Um,
Yes. Love the Kraft macaroni and cheese representation in this. Absolutely.
yes,
I don't know if it was
um,
Kraft, but I know it was definitely a powdered mac and cheese.
correct.
Um,
So with that, I want to throw it to you first. I want to get your initial reactions for Malcolm and Marie.
okay, so remember when I just said about Damien Chazelle, right? So
Right.
Damien Chazelle, great director, many
Correct.
works. Maybe the most acclaimed work is
Hmm.
2016's La La Land.
Yep.
Um, Everything that people said about that movie, about it being, LA kind of really just, being LA and the film
Right.
industry just really being the film industry and stuff. I did
So
not
you,
feel that. I loved La La Land. This
yeah.
movie is what they thought La La Land was. I hated
So
this movie.
to clear the, sorry, real quick, to
Yeah,
clear the
yeah.
air, what you're saying is how, for example, people will say, and I think you can also, this is agreeable, is that Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is just Hollywood basically kissing it. Like, it's just like
Mhm.
people that live in Hollywood and are part of that industry love
Hollywooding
movies about
itself.
themselves.
Yes. I don't agree with Once Upon a Time though. In Hollywood, I think that had
Okay.
more to it. Same with La La
Because
Land.
Quentin, he
It's
grew up in the
there in both.
60s and it's his,
Yeah, like it is definitely there in both
mhm,
films in La La Land,
yeah.
and La La Land is less about the film industry, which it is. It
Yeah.
is like 10% about the film industry, but there's
Right.
just so much else going on too.
Hmm.
La La Land is more about LA as a city.
Right.
Um and then obviously so is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I feel it even less in those two. This one is it's less about LA and more just the film industry.
Yeah.
God, like when he, can we go into just
It's not
kind of
spoil.
full
There's no
thoughts? Yeah,
spoilers.
there really is no
It's
spoilers.
yeah.
Um the movie is basically like a hour and 45-minute argument. Not
Wow.
basically,
Sounds
that's
familiar.
pretty much what it is. What?
That's really that's really what Marriage Story is, except Marriage Story is less arguing.
I'll end the show right now, bro. I am not gonna have that disrespect in this house.
I'm not saying Marriage Story is bad. I'm just
there are
saying that's what also
beautiful, layered,
that's what Marriage Story does.
complicated performances and quiet performances in that movie that do not exist in this film. I will not have the blasphema on Marriage Story in this
The thing
this
is,
house.
I don't think we don't get the quotables from Malcolm and Marie that we got from Marriage Story.
No, yeah, we don't get that. Every day I wake up, I wish you were dead.
Yeah, we don't get that. Yeah.
That was my Kylo Ren impression. Han Solo. What's it called? The face of my
Mhm.
Ben. Sorry. Finish it. Yeah, Marriage Story to me is like another world compared to this one. This was just both
Mhm.
Netflix originals. Man, I just really wanted to like this movie. I think that
Mhm.
Zendaya gives a fantastic performance. I'll focus on the positive here. I think Zendaya
Okay.
gives a fantastic performance. Zendaya proves once again, another movie I hate, which I really shouldn't because I love everyone in it. Greatest Showman, I just can't stand it. I just cannot stand that movie.
Mhm.
But
Wait, which
Zendaya,
movie?
Greatest Showman,
Oh my god.
I hate that
Greatest
movie so
Showman
much.
is so fun.
I hate that movie so much. But in that too, Zendaya, everybody in Greatest Showman gives a great performance. I should love Greatest Showman. I should have loved Hamilton. We'll talk about it in a second. Now that
Oh
I
my
just said
lord.
it, I just opened a can of worms. Okay, but anyways,
Ridiculous.
The Greatest Showman, I'm out. Sorry, Danielle. Maybe we shouldn't talk about Hamilton then. But yeah, just positives. Zendaya gives a fantastic performance. I don't know, man. John David Washington. I loved him in Black Klansman.
Oh, he was
I-
very good in Black Klansman.
He was incredible in Black
I mean, everybody was good in
Klansman.
that movie, but he was also very good.
Shit, I'm starting to think Sean has bad taste. Well, um, what's it called? I do have the kick function for chat. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm not John Campia. I'm not Giovanni. So, crap, I keep getting derailed, man. My head
I
is
know.
like,
Sorry.
boop, boop,
Oh,
boop.
Jay Scotty liked him in Tenet. I
Yes,
still
that is
haven't watched it.
exactly
I
what I
still
was
have not
about to
watched
say.
it.
That was going to be about what I was going to say. I have now watched all of Tenet. I've seen about 60% of Tenet.
Mhm.
And honestly, he was fantastic at Black Klansman. I thought he was fine. I thought he was good. And now that 60% is all over the place because it got spoiled for me. So I just started watching it when I could at work. Like I would
Mhm.
basically just go in. So I've seen, it's not like I started it and like didn't miss some big turn of a performance in the third act. Like
Mhm.
I've seen the beginning, the middle, and the end. I've seen all of the end, all of the beginning, and like most of the middle. Um, and he was good. He was good in it. I shouldn't even say fine. He was good in it.
Yeah.
This one, man, he was just yelling. Like he had some quieter moments, and I'm not equating quiet performances to good acting and loud
Mhm.
performances to bad acting. We have seen both on both spectrums. Like
Right.
yes, in my opinion, Adam Driver in Marriage Story, the
Yeah.
scene, I think he's fantastic in that. I don't care what
Right.
people say on Twitter of it's literally just two actors yelling for 10 minutes. Yeah,
That's
but they're
film Twitter
still
for you.
doing like they're still acting. And
Mhm.
John David Washington is still acting in this.
Right.
I just did not care for his performance, and I definitely did not care for how the character of Malcolm was written. I
Okay.
really didn't care for the way that Marie was written either. But I
Correct.
think
Okay.
Zendaya did way more to elevate what was on the page and to
Mhm.
bring more to the film um, than John David Washington was able to. And that's weird
Mhm.
for me to say because he is one of in my opinion one of the up and coming great
Yeah.
younger, he's not super young but younger actors.
Yeah.
So it pains me to say it, but yeah, I think Zendaya was just able to do more with the material. um
Mhm.
I guess I'll give my star rating, then we can go to your thoughts.
Okay.
I I haven't even entered it into Letterbox yet, but um oh man, I don't know. 2.5 out of 5.
Okay.
Much better than Lockdown.
Much better than Lockdown.
Yes.
First of all, I'd just like to point out, Danielle's saying she always forgets that he's Denzel's son. Which honestly, I think I'm pretty sure I might be making this up in my head. I feel like that's what he's said before, is that he wants to be known as not Denzel Washington's son. He wants to be known as John David Washington, as his own actor, and his claim to fame isn't he's an actor in these movies because his dad is Denzel.
Yeah.
So my opinion on the film was, I thought I thought they both were good. I thought both Zendaya and John David Washington were both good in the film. I just thought the writing was not good.
Yeah.
I thought, like, I think I said this like halfway through to Danielle. I was like, all of this just feels like it does not feel organic. Like, if I
No.
was in this position, this is not what I would be saying in an argument, nor would I be saying this in my real life while I'm arguing with somebody, especially a significant other.
Can I say this? Can I say what I think would have made
Yeah.
this movie a little more interesting? Just
Okay.
one change. I mean, it's one change, but it is a big change.
Mhm.
This whole movie, like TJ said when he read the IMDb off, it takes place. It's one of those movies that it's just kind of a running clock. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like you're just watching it unfold as it unfolds.
Mhm.
To me, a big problem with the writing is that it felt very segmented. Like you said,
Yeah.
it's not very organic. It's not very
like
authentic.
argument ends, talk for 2 seconds,
Yeah.
new argument.
Yeah.
Argument ends, talk for 2 seconds, new argument.
Like there's if you're any Malcolm and Marie fans in the audience, it doesn't have much authenticity,
Yeah.
as Malcolm would say.
Mhm.
How's that for authentic? That was a good line. Well, just a good moment. But I think something that would have done cool for this movie is I would rather have seen it be all these different arguments that are kind of broken up. Show me like
Mhm.
they were together, what did they say, 5 years, right? Show me each of these arguments like at a different point in their in their
Right.
relationship. It would
Yeah.
make more sense to have all these separate arguments be like, you know what I mean? Like if they showed like this is like an argument here and then it like jumps forward a little bit and then another argument. Like just to do something with the movie other than just
Hmm.
it be two people walking around a house, like TJ said, randomly, they're arguing and then they talk
Yeah.
and then they argue and then they talk and then they
Yeah.
do other things and then they argue and then they
Yeah.
talk and then they argue and then you know what I mean? Like it just felt
Like
very inorganic.
like the most inorganic. Actually, no. Maybe the most organic part of it, even though I thought it was completely ridiculous, is when they're outside and he's sitting outside on the deck or whatever you want to call it, on the patio, and she comes out and they're arguing and he goes like that, and they do
Yeah.
that to each other. I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I was like, what am I watching? Like, what? Just that's not like none of it felt like it. All felt like it was written, which obviously it was, but the way these movies have to feel, like they have to feel like they're like this is how they would if they were actually together in real life and there was no cameras, this is how they would have to be talking to each other.
Yeah.
And that's just not the feeling I had while I was watching the movie.
Absolutely.
And then I don't recall which I think Danielle said,
Yes.
and she'll say if
What she just said. I finished that thought. Sorry, I just want to touch on what Danielle just said in the chat.
Danielle said was they're both like maybe him more than her. They're both like crazy.
Yeah.
Like
so I'll go with what Danielle just said because it kind of goes off
Okay.
what you just said. She said also him using her depression and leverage in a fight. At least her arguments had logic. His was just being petty. Yes.
yeah.
All the stuff with her having trouble with addiction and kind of not to get too spoilery. I mean, there's not really spoilers, but she has they say very early on that she has had troubles with addiction and other things.
Yeah.
And to throw, suicide attempts and addiction problems and, mental health problems, kind of spit it like in her face during an argument.
Yeah.
It's like the lowest move you can
He's
go.
very
like,
low.
yeah. Yes, bro. And when she goes middle or high, he goes low.
Yeah,
He goes the
he goes
lowest
low.
of the
Yeah.
low. Like even when
But she can give it right back. But
yeah, she can give it
not
right back.
as but
Like with
what she's
that
saying you can see being
authenticity
true.
moment.
You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Where I don't even know. Yeah, TJ didn't like the unnatural vocab. Yeah, like just there are some words that they use. I was like, that's just not something.
Like,
like
I'm sorry, but I just did not care for. Like, I don't even
like
know.
I don't think they're like Zendaya or John David Washington. They're not the problem, in my opinion. It's the writing.
No,
like, I just didn't
exactly.
think-
Like I didn't like
in
the
a movie
part
that in a movie that's set in one place where it's just dialogue
needs great dialogue.
needs great dialogue.
Yeah.
Like it can't be subpar. And
Like
that's what
the
this is,
reason why
unfortunately.
like Lock works or what's the one with Ryan Reynolds, Trapped or something like that. Buried.
Yeah.
Sorry, where he's buried in the coffin. Like the reason why a
Mhm.
movie like that works with just one actor, or even Robert Redford was in this movie All Is Lost, where it's just him
Mhm.
the whole movie. He's stuck on this boat in the middle of nowhere and he's slowly sinking, and it's him the entire movie. The reason why movies like those three work and others is the writing. That's the only thing keeping it afloat. You know what I mean? Like, no pun intended. But like that's the only thing that can keep or even The Lighthouse. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
those performances were powerful, but it was because the script was equally there. It was right on the same level as the actors.
Yeah.
And like in this, like if the best you can give me is one character sits and goes like this as the other one is just ranting about film and film reviews for 6 straight minutes.
That's
I was
one
like
of those
getting
things.
sick to my stomach. I had to pause it during that scene. I was like, I
That
cannot
was one of
watch
those
this.
things that felt like the writer was almost
It was just him talking.
it was him talking through
Yeah.
John David Washington.
Yeah.
Which I don't think, which again, the right, like, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't think Yeah, like the writer's white, so obviously that rant he goes on only applies to John David Washington's character because, but it still felt like it was, like it's just not like that just wasn't natural. I feel like.
No, yeah.
And this writer, he did, I think he created Euphoria, the show that Zendaya does on HBO. But he's also written, he's written Assassination Nation. So I do recall that. I remember having that. I never saw it. Did you see that?
No, but I remember having it, but I didn't saw it.
He did Wizard of Lies. That was Robert De Niro and Michelle Pfeiffer. That came out in 2017. And he did
Wizard
another
of Lies?
Happy Day. Wizard of Lies. Yeah.
Wow. That's one to miss.
The cover looks like Wall Street.
Okay.
With Charlie Sheen and Michael Douglas.
Mm-hmm.
If you know what I'm talking about, that's what the poster looks like. Or maybe it's the second one with Shia LaBeouf.
Money Never Sleeps.
Money Never Sleeps. Yeah, that one. They did another Happy Day, which I haven't seen that either, but he wrote and directed that as well.
All right, perfect. Well, all right.
But
I think that's probably a good place to call it. I think we could probably rant about this for a couple hours. Was there another?
Oh,
thing
I didn't
you
get my
wanna say?
stars.
Oh my God! Yeah, give your stars. Give your stars.
I was between a 3 and a 3.5, but I think I'm gonna settle on 3.
That high?
You're 2.5. You're only half a star
I know.
below
I know. It's just funny that
we're
going so low.
They made it like them together, like actually kind of like I liked it for that, but for everything else, the writing sucked. Sorry.
Yeah, absolutely. It was just a good concept. Just failed by the writing. Honestly, it's sad to say, but yeah. So that'll do it for this week's episode.